Hello, my name is Perry Zhang and welcome to Pallas. I'm the founder and CEO of Pallas. Pallas is where we help you invest passively. And I started my career as a software engineer. I worked at Amazon, Twitter, and then Lyft as software engineer. Worked my way up from SDE 1, then became an engineering manager at Lyft. Now, this video is about how I leverage my W2 income to make passive investments into real estate syndications. The very first investment I made was in November of 2018. I invest $25,000. My real estate business partner also invests, and we go in together as one entity. So we create a separate entity. So here's the first lesson. If you feel like the $50,000 investment is high, you can actually split it with one other person or two other people. So I made a $25,000 investment for my portion. They bought it in October 2018 and they sold it in January of 2022, a little bit more than 3 years. I got back 240% return. And so the average annual return is 45%. During that time, S&P annual return is 17%. And this deal did a astounding 45% annual return. I invested $25,000 and I got back $60,000. So that's a great, actually the best deal in my passive investment portfolio. So in 2018, we made 4 passive investments. The other one is also $25,000 and that one is also sold. It is a 16% annualized return. So it's a 1.4x multiple. And then the other 2 passive investments I made during that time, the one that's going to sell is gonna be about 21% annualized return. And then the one that is selling next year, their average return is probably about 9 to 10%. So it's not as good of a deal. Now, 2019, I did 2 investments. The September one is $250,000 in passive investment. The one in December is $25,000, a 10x difference. Now, you might ask why so much of a difference? Well, as you may have guessed, the $250,000 is my own deal. The $250,000 investment, that one was sold on May of 2022. We are super lucky. It was held for 2.67 years. The IRR is 29%, but the average annual return is 37%. So S&P at the time, the average return is 10%. As you can see, passive investment has dramatically outperformed the S&P in that period. Here's something people will say, which is you discount all the performance during the last 3 years because it doesn't count. By having that kind of mindset, what happens is that you don't have that much data to go off. But the nuance part is that you could actually compare it against S&P to see the difference. So instead of discounting an entire time period, what you should do is compare it against S&P. So the other one is a $25,000 investment. That one has not been sold yet. So I did some math. If it's sold sometime next year, then my average annualized return is gonna be about 10%. And so it will not lose money. Cool. So the 2019, I made 2 investments. One had an extraordinary 94% of my initial investment. The other one, we don't know yet. 2020, I only made 1 investment because 2020 is an anomaly and it was a $175,000 investment. And if we were to sell end of the year, the average return will have been about 20%. 2021, I made 2 investments. One is $175,000 again, and the other one is $25,000. The $175,000 is going to go full cycle sometime this year, and the average return is about 17%. During those 2 years, the S&P average annual return is negative 3.4%. And this particular deal is gonna make anywhere from 12 to 17% average annual return. So, you know, the delta is probably 20% more. And I have observed this consistently, which is top 25% of the syndications outperform the S&P by at least 10 to 15 average annual return. But I do think that the real estate syndication has this kind of built-in protection because real estate always keeps going up. Actually, that brings me to a very interesting meta point, which is the operators that may not be as good, they will hold on to the property for a little bit longer, right? But here's the thing, rents have not gone down in history. occupancy drop, but rent have never gone down. All right, so in 2022, I made 4 investments. The first investment is a $350,000 investment that hasn't been sold yet. And then I made a $25,000 investment and a $10,000 investment and another $25,000 investment. The $125,000 investment is a LP in my deal, in my previous deal, that turned into a GP. So overall, what's my total? My total is $1.16 million of investment. I have gotten back about $650,000, and some of this have not gone full cycle. So to generate a good 60% return in 3.5 years, I got a nice 17% annualized return. And keep in mind, some of these have not been sold yet, right? When they continue to sell, the returns will increase. Now, I always try to think of some characteristics of why passive investment works. One insight I have is that I don't really track my passive investments that much. I don't even know where some of these properties are located. The other day, someone was telling me, oh, they're located in like River Falls, Wisconsin. I'm like, where's that? I trust the general partner, and that's the one that has a 45% annualized return, right? And so if you look at the arc of my life, it will start as software engineer. Then, I start managing people. Then in the meantime, I was doing single family investings. And then I start doing multifamily investings. Then I become a general partner. And then I went all in into my startup. Throughout it, the thing that interests me the most is how do I systematize this transfer of trust? Investing is not like, it's not dating, but it boils down to 3 kind of pillars, which is competency, passion, and character. So how do you build a platform, a system to do that? And that's Pallas, right? And so I'm like very, very committed to it. Pallas is almost my way of equalizing the playing field between the super wealthy and the kind of the middle class, right? Middle class is educated, but they don't have access the same way that the really upper middle class or ultra wealthy has. And I want to equalize the playing field between the middle class and the ultra wealthy. Now, is this a good goal? I don't know. I do know I have this visceral reaction that I feel passionate about it. So yeah, so that's what I will say. So thanks for watching again, and happy investing.